And once again, we are here on Living in the 21st Century. Today is all about the visual arts. And joining me in the studio today is Giddy Sasher. She is the president for the Newton Watercolor Society. Also joining me is Claire L. Daniels, artist in abstract and geometric designs. Ladies, thank you very much for joining me here on Living in the 21st Century. My first question goes out to you, Sasha. What got you into the arts?
Oh, I've been nearly always into the arts. I started as an interior architect, painting, architectural painting, of course, and continued with children book illustration. I took a certificate course at RISD. But about 8 years ago, a friend of mine brought me to the Newton Watercolor Society.
Yes.
And since then, I'm all about watercolors.
Beautiful. And Claire, tell me a little bit about yourself. What really got you into art? I see you have a passion for art. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I was in high school in my senior year, and I took an art course. And the teacher said to the students, all of us in there, you can do anything you want, one day. But she didn't have really the supplies to, really create something that, from your, imagination to. So there was a ruler, a pencil, and a black marker, and drawing paper. So I took a piece of the drawing paper and my pencil and the black marker, and I started drawing lines with the pencil and the ruler. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't, thinking of anything, any idea there at the time. So all I did was draw lines and made an abstract picture design. And the student asked me, he says, were you in Egypt? I says, no, I never went to Egypt. And well, that looks Egyptian. I says, all right, thank you. And the teacher looked at it and was amazed, because I was very shy in those days. Yes. And she said, for a shy person, you could come up with something like this. And she hung it up, on a board there for months and months.
Okay.
So that's, and then I knew I had art ability from that class that we had, the course.
Okay. Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I see now that you had really branched out into a very established artist now at this point, because you are marketing lots of your work out there. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So Giddy, tell me a little bit more. I know that you are heavily engaged in Newton Festival of the Arts. And
That's right.
And you're putting on a huge display with many other artists and their work and so forth. Could you enlighten us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah, so we are very excited to be part of the Festival of the Arts. It's for the first time that we're stepping out, so to speak, into the public. Also, we're already since 8 years existing. So the Newton Watercolor Society, on May 19th this year, we will have a paint out day, which is a day where we, the artists of the Newton Watercolor Society, will paint outdoors, but we also invite all of the Newton artists and people who would like to do art or want to try it out in watercolor to come and join us. It's a Saturday from 10 to 2 o'clock, and it will be at the runner statue, I think it's called Johnny Kelly statue, at Commonwealth Avenue and Walnut Street. We will be there, and we invite everybody to come with their chairs and easel and paint supplies. And we have a little introduction. And we offer, as the Newton Watercolor Society, free watercolor paper, because to step into watercolor, it's very different if your paper is smooth or a little rough. If you have the right paint,
Yes.
so we also supply paints to try out, and then you go and we invite to go to paint maybe the people or the architecture. Newton City Hall is around, is right there, and a little behind it is the library, or on the other side is the very beautiful Bullock Pond.
Okay.
So a lot to paint. We will be there, and what we offer is our best artists will go to the new painters and the public, and if they want a little help and a little trick and a little, not trick, but
Okay, understand.
advice
Okay.
to help them check it out and or improve. And at the end then of that day, we will gather and give feedback, because feedback is really where you learn the most.
Yes.
It's positive feedback, so you can improve upon next time.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's going to be the day. We have also prizes. We have a sponsor who will give us gift certificates,
Nice.
and we have prizes for the best beginner, for
Okay.
the best city hall painting, or we don't know yet,
Nice.
but we will figure it out.
Okay.
And we have food, and we have a bake sale and coffee. So
Okay.
it should be a great event, and we
Beautiful.
hope the weather's with us. If not, we have it on the next day.
Okay.
And that is possible with the Festival of the Arts. They do make a little bit advertisement for us.
Yes.
And we hope to work more together with the city to have people explore visual arts
Okay.
and specifically watercolor more.
Excellent. Well, is it really interesting that you should use watercolor? Because this is what I want to ask you, Claire. Is most of your work done in watercolor? Is it pastel? Is it oil paints? Tell me a little bit more about
It's
your work.
the watercolor. It's most of them are done in.
We have a lot here in common then.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're
Yes.
you know, abstract, mine in nature.
Mhm.
I guess God gave me the
Yes.
incentive to, you know, want to extend my, you know, abilities
Well, I mean,
even
you
further.
got great work. I mean, even looking at this is a great piece of work you have here exhibiting, and that is really wonderful.
Yeah, I have made up names for them. They're, you know, very unique.
Yes.
And the one just right behind you, I call that the figure in the bowl.
Okay. Nice.
And that's, I never thought about it. Anything I was going to do, I just sat down and just flowed out. It just flowed out of
Just-
my
Just let your imagination
my
work.
imagination. Yeah, there was nothing I had in my mind, you know, that I was going to do on the paper.
Yes.
I just started to, you know, take the marker and just, you know, do the.
So,
It just came naturally.
yes. So approximately how long were you into really gravitating towards this kind of work? And how long you have been producing your work? For how many years?
About 40 years.
Well, that's a lifetime.
Mm.
That's a lifetime.
I did one right after the other, after the black and white one, after I was graduated from high school.
Yes.
And I was doing it on my dining room table in my apartment. And I was doing one right after the other. And my mother said to my father, she says, "Look at Charles, look at this one, look at that one, look at," you know, I kept just creating them, just kept going on one right after the other. And I couldn't just do one and leave part of it
Right.
for the, you know, like if I want to do it the next day.
Yes.
Because the idea there wouldn't be there to finish
Exactly.
to finish it,
Right.
to finish the rest of the picture I was doing. So I did it in one day, all that work. I just sat there and just kept right at it till I was through. But it didn't take that long.
So do you still have work from all those years? I mean, 40 years you've been producing. Do you have any of your work from the creation of time when you first started out your work?
Yes. Well, I have one from when I did in the high school. That was in 1969.
Okay.
So from then on,
Mhm.
well, a couple of years later, I had stopped it, and then my creativity came back when again, and then I did them for 16 years after that, and then I was doing them, you know, continuously after
Yes.
that. I just did whatever came out.
Okay.
Whatever came out was it.
Okay. So in totality, approximately how many pieces of art you have to your disposal right now?
I have about over 200, and then I have different sizes. I've got yeah, a lot of originals. You know that. Well, these are of course prints
Yes.
of my originals. I made larger. My originals are 18 by 24, 16 by 20, and then I have another one, 19 by something 28. You know, the different sizes. And then I have
Yes.
small ones that are like greeting card sizes.
Okay.
And I had done, I did my artwork on those. It just happened to be that I had small pieces of the drawing paper, and I just the ideas came out on the card size also.
Nice.
I did some of mine look like they were from other countries, you know, other
Right.
have it look like one is Asian, another one looks like it's from. Well, I have one that I call the Alamo because I have a jug with a Mexican jug. It looks like the way I did the drawing, the colors.
Yes.
I did the and with the fire there and the church right behind. Well, next to, I guess, next to the fire, or behind the fire. It's a little bit hard for me to
Right, I understand.
explain. You'd really have to
Yes.
see it because it's not anything
Right.
that
Okay.
that's ordinary,
Okay.
like copying anything. I never copied anything in my
Okay.
life.
Nice. Nice. All straight up original.
Yes,
That's beautiful.
every one of them is different as night and day.
Okay. Okay. Well, Yeti, I want to get back to you again. So you are participating obviously in Newton Festival. What is your intentions in terms of trying to inspire young people in getting involved in the visual arts? How would you go about inspiring more young people to be involved?
How would I? Well, I think that's part of the
Right.
schools, and we have also Newton Art Center in Newton where you can take classes. My interest is more for the adults,
Yes.
who a lot of them tell me that they have loved art or art making when they were younger, and now then they got busy and family and whatever, and now they find a little in the middle of their life or later, oh, art, that would have been nice to do now, and they
Yes.
have more time. They work, but they do art. And so they are excited, but they feel like they don't have the skills.
Yes.
And so for those, I think the Newton Watercolor Society is perfect. We have all levels of members, some who really are very beginners, and some who are taking classes and workshops since many years. And that's also, we learn from each other when we, for example, in the winter we offer figure painting. We rent a place and we have a life model.
Yes.
And it's very good figure painting to get the shape of the people,
Right.
to get loose painting, because we start with 10 seconds, 3 minutes, then 15 minutes. And so we did this for a few years, and now we have instructors who are partially our own people,
Yes.
members, helping each other. And so that's a way how we practice it. So we have that every 2 weeks, for example, from
Right.
January to March. Now comes May till middle of summer, we offer plein air. Plein air is kind of like the paint out,
Okay.
painting outdoors. That's also very helpful for grabbing what's important out there, because you can't paint everything. So you have to narrow it down to the most important, and then the light changes, the weather changes, so you want to be fast. So plein air painting often in watercolor is an hour and a half, and you're done.
Okay.
Now, you do that more often and your painting gets looser. You then go home and you can take the same subject or another subject, but you get better at it. Yeah. So, and then we offer also, we have, so I just became president last year, so I have so many ideas what we can do.
Nice.
We have, of course, workshops where we invite artists for 1, 3, 4 days, the whole day, to teach us their style. We practice it and go home and learn from the best ones, so to speak. We have international, we had great international artists here. So then we have other events that I try to bring new in, for example, or combine it in a new way, because I want people to have fun when they paint.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. So the Newton Watercolor Society, basically how long were this in existence approximately?
Yes. Well, so the start of it is actually, we have 2 founders, Michael Milburn and Linda Reniarson, who were part of the Newton Art Association.
Okay.
The Newton Art Association exists much longer, but has artists, oil painters, pastel painters, but also jewelry makers, all kind of artists, fabric. And they wanted to have watercolor workshops, and the board of directors didn't like that. So Michael and Linda founded their own non-profit, the Newton Watercolor Society. And they started with 1 workshop with 10 people. That was like 2010, so 8 years ago. And it has grown slowly because their focus was on workshops. I became involved with them as a treasurer, and since that it's grown a little more, and now we have over 70 members, and still Newton doesn't know much that we exist, because it always goes together with the Art Association. Yet there are 3 big visual art clubs. There is a Newton Camera Club, and the Newton Art Association, and us. And so we're stepping out of the shadow, so to say.
Is there a specific message you would want to send to the Newton residents about the Newton Watercolor Society, and how important is it that they should be involved?
Well, it is, if they like art, they should try out watercolor. It is so pleasurable to paint in it. It's loose, it's loosening up. It is relaxing. You forget everything around. It's like scuba diving. It's like you forget everything around it, and you, in every kind of paint, but with watercolor, it flows. So yeah, try it out. We have a website. May I say? It's
Yeah, sure, of course. Please feel free. NewtonWatercolorSociety.org. Check us out. We have shows, or like in December we will be having an art show. Right now, another big project, if I may say, we have. So
we call it Newton in watercolor. It's gonna be a show at Café La Roma in Newton, and in September. But for that, we produce paintings. Everybody's invited. Everybody can
Yes.
participate. To send in the application with the painting. We produce a calendar,
Okay.
and so there's no calendar of Newton out there. So that will be the watercolors, and maybe some of the paint out paintings will be
Okay.
there. So
Okay,
we're
nice.
excited.
Pretty good. So, Claire, back to you. I know that your life had been embodied, enriched in art. What is your overall vision for your artwork? Where can it be found, and so forth?
On the website, it's on eBay, Facebook, and Etsy,
Okay.
those three.
Okay, okay. And where do you see, besides having your work out there on the market, what's your, now you want to leave a legacy of who you really were, years to come, concerning your work. What would be, what you would want the world to know concerning your work and who you are as an artist?
I would want my work known to help people, cheer people up with it,
Yes.
and people who are disabled or people that are, would like to take up their art for, enjoy it and for therapy,
Yes.
for therapeutic.
Right,
reasons.
beautiful, beautiful. I know that one of the things that I've seen is, for what I've seen on your brochure, you have some exceptionally nice work. And I'm quite sure that there are a young generation of people out there who may very well want to follow suit to what you would have done. How can they reach out to you for guidance or inspiration to do such artwork?
Well, the thing is, I can't teach anybody how to do the work I've done
Okay.
because I don't know how I did it. It's not I don't know how I did it
Yes.
myself. It just came from my natural
Yes.
abilities. Yeah,
abilities,
natural
right,
abilities. I wouldn't be able to teach them. I could just tell them to just sit down and imagine what they would like to accomplish,
Yes.
create, or if they're even nature or around them. But on my end,
Okay.
God gave me the ability, the
Beautiful.
gift that. I'm sorry, but I can't share it.
Okay.
Share my talents in that way with
Yes.
them. I'm not
Okay. Okay. That sounds pretty reasonable to me. So, Getty, from what age basically you would have said you got really involved in the art? How many years of your life you had really committed to this form of art?
Well, not so many, maybe 5, 6 years. Art went always on the side of
Okay.
my life, but it was always there.
Yes.
I did a little graphic design, so, and it is still, because I'm the president of the Newton
Right.
Watercolor Society, I have a lot of other things to do.
Yes.
Right, I feel like I'm just really getting more and more art done. And it's actually also the clue to become better,
Yes.
to do it steadily like you have done
Right.
daily. So that's fantastic. That is my desire too.
Okay.
And to move forward, I think I have a skill for portraits,
Yes.
so I want to continue along
Okay.
those lines. But here in Boston, in Newton, we have the coastline, so I'm also in a group who do landscape watercolor, but loose, in a very loose style.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. Approximately how many pieces you would have produced since you so I know over here, Claire, she have produced over 200 and
yeah, I know.
excellent pieces. Approximately how many pieces you would have
So
yes.
I make a difference.
Okay.
Most of my pieces are practice pieces.
Yes.
So for me to practice stuff,
Okay.
so to have really pieces for the show, I maybe have
Right.
25 or so, not more.
Well, that's-
But I'm my own critic
Right.
very strongly. So.
Well, for a part-time person who doesn't do it full-time, I think 25 is pretty reasonable.
Thank you.
Pretty
Thank you.
reasonable. So in terms of Newton Festival of the Arts, approximately how many people you were expecting to turn out in?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I don't know, because it's a free event,
Okay.
and it's the first time we have a paint out here. So for the minimum 20 maybe.
Okay.
For the maximum, I hope for 100 or more.
Okay.
It would be wonderful.
Well, that definitely would be wonderful. Is there anything different you will do next year opposed to what you're doing this year? How would you like to see it?
Well, I would like to for us to grow. Right now, we don't have a physical address. We rent the places where we
Right.
meet, or we outdoors. So that would be wonderful if we. And so we are talking to the city. The city is aware that we need more space for
Yes.
the artists in general. That would be my major goal for many years to come, to find a physical address where I could say, hey, let's paint on Wednesday mornings, come together. It's nice to paint in a group,
Yes.
give us feedback to each other. Other than this, I see our group as a base to learn. So as more I can offer to the people to come out and paint or paint with themselves, that's really the biggest goal. And then they find their ways, so.
Right.
And of course, I think it's if you have to be creative, not always offer the same over.
Right.
Mix it up,
Right.
change it up.
Because that's why one of the reasons I asked you what would be your vision next year opposed to this year, considering that as dealing with watercolors, it is in one specific segment, but even the visual arts has a wide variety of different segments. You got still life, you can have different practicals. Okay. Wrap up? Okay. Well, yes. Okay. So, yeah, so.
We're open to all kind of areas, still
Nice.
life, realistic, all kinds.
Okay.
So that's not, it's more the skills that are
Okay.
underlying there.
Okay, beautiful.
And one last getting in,
Sure.
for the Newton Festival of the Arts for next year, we hope to grow that paint out more and more. So once we are known out there, then we hope to attract more and more artists.
Beautiful. Well,
Oh, I was just going to say, for those who would like to view my artwork, interested in them, it's Claire Daniels, artwork by Claire Daniels at, wait a minute,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Artwork by cld20@gmail.com.
Thank you. Well, Getty and Claire, I want to thank you both for joining me here today on Living in the 21st Century.
Thank you,
It
Errol.
was a pleasure having you. And to all those who are out there, I want to say thank you and enjoy it.
Thank you very much,
you.
Errol.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.